with Coach Sakshi again. We tried this, as I mentioned last week. Our recording did not save, so we decided to redo it and, discover more and have the pleasure to speak with her. I am going to ask her to join us here. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. And she is coming on. Coach, actually, if you can just request to be part of the live, and then I'm going to accept it. I see that you're there. Hi, everyone. Again, thank you for coming back. It's a great day today. I get to see you twice. Okay, Coach Sashi, if you can ask, and I'm going to go live. And we're just waiting, and it's hopefully going to connect this time. Yay! Hi! How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We are in the morning at 11 a.m. here, and you're in the evening, or?
It's 9 p.m.
It's 9 p.m. Okay, so the day is almost done. Thank you so much for coming back on with us. It is such a pleasure to connect with you as always. I hope everything is going well.
So far, so good. Yes. Thank you for having me, first of all. And it's just that times we're going through a tough phase. The second wave is bad here in India, especially in Delhi, where I am. So keeping indoors, doing everything we can as per the protocol. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I want to know that, you and entire India is in our prayers. I know that the fight against COVID has been so challenging for all of us, but just watching the news and everything surrounding it, it's so touching, and so stay safe. I know everything's going to go well. I'm going to start by introducing you, Coach Sakshi, again. To our community, because I know that our last live didn't save, so I want to make sure that we get the full introduction. So I'm going to start from here. Hi, everyone, again. For those of you who joined us, my name is Shiva Burnette. I am the CEO of Avazera, co-founder, and today I have the pleasure to speak with Coach Sakshi, and I'm going to read exactly your specifics here. Coach Sakshi is a certified inner anchoring coach, a holistic psychotherapist, past life regression therapist, Reiki and EFT practitioner, and author. And she works around aspects of self-discovery, helping many of her clients with, ways to decode emotional blockages. And we are honored to have you. Thank you so much for joining us again. In today's live, we really wanted to discover more about what it is you do and, get a little bit involved with it. So as I gave you the formal introduction, I would like you to give us your introduction. If you could please tell us what your area of expertise are and how you're working with the wellness community.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Thank you. So what you've described is the designation and my professional designation, what I do. So if I have to simplify it in my words, I actually try and navigate my clients and get them acquainted with their emotions, which is very important. All of us usually are so busy outside and we're so external in our approach about things and situations that we hardly get to connect to our core. And that's what I do here. So I navigate them through every aspect of self-discovery and get them connected to their core. Because every area in life, every journey in life is inside out. So that's what I do. And if you ask me my area of expertise, then emotional freedom and managing emotions is my forte. That's what I do with my clients.
I love that word, emotional freedom. Sounds good. What defines emotional freedom? Like, how do you know if you're emotionally free?
Emotional freedom is not getting rid of a set of emotions or compartmentalizing your emotions. It's about giving them wins and letting them be. Even if it is something which, as per the societal norm, is negative, my work here is to make our clients understand that no emotion is good or bad. Emotions are just messengers and they are here to give you a message. And so that's why this freedom for letting them be is important. Giving them space is important. That's what I mean with emotional freedom when I say that as my forte.
I think that was a big takeaway home for me from the last time we connected, the fact that, you're able to accept all emotions, because I think there's a part of society that really tries to teach us that, negative emotions are never allowed. And, don't cry and don't do this and don't do that. And I think that that's how you essentially could get emotional blockages, correct?
Correct.
By holding on to all these different things. Well, what I wanted to do today is really dig deeper into something that we did together, and it's something called EFT. And I just first of all wanted you to maybe just give us a little bit of a background of it. What does EFT stand for, and what is this technique and ideology all about?
Okay, so EFT is a brainchild of Gary Crane, and it is completely based out on the Chinese technique of acupressure or acupuncture. It's only that this one works without needles or any outside equipment. It just works, and you can do it on yourself. And it is basically the ideology of this technique is that we have multiple energy meridians all over our body. They're spread all across us. In EFT, we're addressed to 9 tapping points. And these are the points from where our emotional blockages, they get their release. Because when you apply pressure and then, and the pressure is along with affirmative statements, and that's where, it helps the release of all those blocked emotions. Also, EFT has only 2 principles, which I'd like to point out very specifically here. And that's what makes it so simple to practice. It's a self-help tool also. So there are 2 principles of EFT which everyone should keep in mind. One is recognition of the issue. Whatever the issue that you want to work on, you have to recognize it first. And the second is acceptance of self along with the presence of that issue.
Okay.
So these are the 2 things.
Okay, so you have to accept it and you have to acknowledge it. So it can't be buried within you or, something that you're repressing, let's say.
Yes, that's
okay.
That's
now, can you give me an example of how traditionally people have used EFT to help them, like with what kind of issues that you may have that this is something you may use? Is it a day-to-day thing that anyone can use? I understand that. Or is it for people who are having some, issues and things like that?
So my question, Shiva, to you is that how many of us actually do not have issues?
That's a $1 million question. Okay, so let me rephrase that. What I mean is a lot of people don't take, I shouldn't say a lot of people, from my perception, many don't take their mental health as an active, activity or aspect of health to focus on, unless, they're feeling depressed or sad, or there's something they're feeling, right? Where if everything is going well, let's say, do you still use EFT? Do you still use it only when you're feeling something that, you're not sure about? Or is it something that you should be doing continuously to help explore and develop further?
See, one thing that I'd like to bring to your notice is that EFT not only works on emotional issues, it also works on physical symptoms. So if you have pains in your body, if you have, say, migraine, headache, it works on food cravings, it works on binge eating, it works on so many things, and it's the spectrum is so huge that let's not compartmentalize it and say that it only works on mental health issues. Now, but again, I'd like to point it out here that most of these issues that I'm talking about here do have an underlying emotional cause.
Right.
So, when we talk about basic EFT as a self-help tool, then you can use it in myriad of ways. You can use it to get rid of your headaches. You can get rid of sugar cravings. You can use it for, to help you with emotional eating issues or binge eating issues. So you can use it in various ways in your day-to-day activities, interactions.
That's amazing, because
Yeah.
often, you know, we don't necessarily have these techniques, or no one really teaches us, right?
Yeah.
So to even
Yeah.
have access to something like this, it's a really
Yes.
great thing. Does it have lasting effects when you do EFT, or is it just for that moment or that day or that week that you know you're doing this?
Yeah. So when I'm talking about basic EFT, which I'm talking about EFT on self,
Yes.
that I would say is an SOS. You're traveling, you have flying anxiety. Sit on the plane and do it on yourself.
Okay.
You're dieting, but you're getting sugar cravings, and you don't want to break your diet. Do it.
Okay.
You have
So it's a
motion
tool that
sickness,
you
you
can
are in the
basically.
car. Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
it
So
can be used SOS.
okay, as needed, basically, and you can kind of
Yes.
utilize it that way.
But here I would like to add EFT has very lasting and permanent results when you work with an expert. Because when you work on the underlying and emotional issues that are actually making you crave certain things, which are actually the cause of your anxiety, which are actually the reasons of you, having motion sickness. So when you work with an expert and you explore those causes, then it has permanent, relief as well.
Okay, so you can kind of work together in terms of going deeper or different issues, or use it as you need it, basically.
Yes,
Am I
totally.
understanding
It can
correctly?
work
Okay,
both ways.
good. My other question was, some people, when they look at it, they're like, is it a form of distraction? You know, are you distracting yourself from, whatever's going on, or is it actually causing you to become more aware?
It works like any other energy healing technique. So, no,
Okay.
it is not a distraction. It's actually an energy healing technique. You are tapping on your energy points. You're tapping on the points from where your blocked energy is getting, the emotions are getting the release. So, there is no distraction here. It is actually feel, and you can actually see how it works when you actually do it on yourself.
Okay, I'm excited to give this a try. But before we do it, one question is, I know you kind of answered this, but is this something that you would do daily or as needed?
Now depends what are you working on, because it works on your emotions. So if you're not feeling anything, what are you going to work on?
Right.
So, but yes, definitely, if you have worked on, say, your anxiety, then you can tap onto your anxiety for a week and see the results. And if it's worked and it's giving you very good solutions, and you're getting your resolution with it, then you can go ahead and tap every day, in the morning, because this is considering the present circumstances. We are in such times where no matter how much we try, it just gets on to us. So, if you tap every day on your anxiety, it's definitely going to help you in present times.
Okay, perfect. And having said that, it's a perfect leeway into actually experiencing. I know we did this last time together, but I was wondering if we can kind of go through it. Is there a particular topic you want to talk about today in our exercise, or are we sticking to an anxiety and uncertainty as still exist?
I think we should do the anxiety, because I think from where I'm sitting and I'm seeing, it's grown in the collective. So might as well, let's tap on it and help people who are watching and the ones who are going to watch it later, because they
Okay.
can most definitely do it on themselves.
Okay, great. So I'm all yours. And ready to do this. If you can walk us through a mini version or exercise
Yes,
of doing the
yes.
EFT. And I encourage those that are at home and watching this to join us as well.
To join
I know
us.
the last time I did it, I definitely felt something, and it's something that I think it's worth of an experience. Any rules before we start, or would you just get into it?
I'm just going to make you all acquainted with the 9 tapping points.
Okay.
And one thing I would like to suggest is that every time you practice EFT, it's always better to have a little bit of water before you begin and then after you've finished, because the more fluids you take, the more hydrated you are, the better it works.
Okay. So
So
drink your
that's
water,
one.
everyone at home.
Drink your water. Just take about a sip of water, And I'll just introduce the 9 tapping points. Now, for every issue, tapping points do not change. You have to just tap on these points, and the issue you can choose whatever you want to choose on whatever you're going through, actually.
Okay.
So there is this karate chop, which is here.
Okay.
So we tap on this,
Okay.
and then there is this top of our head,
Okay.
beginning of one eyebrow, just the beginning where it begins.
Okay.
Yeah. And side of the eye, cheekbones, upper lip, chin, then your collarbone.
Right.
And I you can do it, you can tap, you can do whatever, but because it's a larger
Beat yourself up.
it works. Yes. And then armpits, like 4 fingers below your armpit,
Like
below
here.
your armpit.
Okay.
So yeah, side of your chest.
Okay.
So in line with your chest line, just side of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like here.
And then towards the end, we rub between these 2 points, which is the ring finger and the pinky finger, the little finger. So you have to rub this like this.
Okay.
Finger, yeah, vertical.
Okay.
Yes. So let's begin.
All right.
Yeah. Even though I feel this anxiety in my body,
I feel this anxiety in my body,
I feel anxious,
I feel anxious,
hearing about what's happening all around us.
hearing about what's happening all around us.
It makes me worry.
It makes me worry.
My worst fears may come true.
My worst fears may come true.
And I don't know what would I do next.
And I don't know what I would do next.
How will I handle it?
How will I handle it?
There is so much of uncertainty around,
There's so much uncertainty around,
and it makes me very anxious.
and it makes me very anxious.
I worry
I
about
worry
my safety
about my safety
and about the health of my loved ones.
and about the health of my loved ones.
The present times makes me feel helpless.
The present times make me feel helpless.
It makes me feel hopeless.
It makes me feel hopeless.
And I feel anxious all the time.
And I feel anxious all the time.
I worry about my safety.
I worry about my safety.
I worry about the health of my loved ones.
I worry about the health of my loved ones.
And it makes me all the more anxious.
It makes me all the more anxious.
But I still choose to
But I still choose to
heal and integrate that part of me.
heal and integrate that part of me.
I still choose to
I still choose to
love and accept myself completely.
love and accept myself completely.
Even though
Even though
I have this anxiety,
I have this anxiety,
I feel it in my body,
I feel it in my body,
but I release it today.
I release it today.
I let it go.
I let it go.
It is safe to release it.
It is safe to release it.
Even though
Even though
I worry a lot
I worry a lot
about what might happen,
what might happen,
but I release it today.
I release it today.
I let it go.
I let it go.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the more I release.
the more I release.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the better I feel.
the better I feel.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the calmer I get.
the calmer I get.
Even
Even though
I feel hopeless,
I feel hopeless,
but I know
But I know
everything that begins
everything that begins
also ends.
also ends.
This too will end.
This too will end.
So I'm not hopeless anymore.
So I'm not hopeless anymore.
I am not hopeless anymore.
I am not hopeless anymore.
I let this anxiety go.
I let this anxiety go.
I release it today.
I release it today.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the more I release.
the more I release.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the better I feel.
the better I feel.
Even though
Even though
I felt helpless,
I felt helpless,
even though
even though
the present times makes me feel helpless.
the present times make me feel helpless.
But by choosing to tap today,
But by choosing to tap today,
I am helping myself.
I am helping myself.
So I'm not helpless anymore.
So I'm not helpless anymore.
I let this anxiety go.
I let this anxiety go.
I release it today.
I release it today.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the more I release.
the more I release.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the calmer I feel.
the calmer I feel.
The more I tap,
The more I tap,
the better I get.
the better I get.
And as I choose to
And as I choose to
release this anxiety today,
release this anxiety today,
as I choose to
as I choose to
let all this remaining anxiety go,
let all this remaining anxiety go,
I choose to
I choose to
heal and integrate
heal and integrate
every part of me.
every part of me.
I choose to
I choose to
love and accept myself
love and accept myself
completely
completely
and irrevocably.
and irrevocably.
Put your hands on your chest, both your hands.
Okay.
Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth 3 times.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Good. Light.
Yes. So
I had this.
people who have water with them can have a sip of water to
Okay.
hydrate themselves. It's
Thank
going
you.
to
Thank you so much, Coach Shackley. It's such an experience and almost feel lighter. I feel a little bit airier, like I'm almost
yes.
feel like I can lift or something like that. And yeah, I don't know, just feels much lighter. That's my feeling.
Yeah, see, the beauty of EFT is that it can actually provide you instant relief, and that's what sometimes it makes us very skeptical that how is it possible? How is it working so fast? But this is what it is, and EFT can actually give you instant relief from
Someone
whatever
just
you're
said
going through.
magical.
Yes, it is. But depending upon the intensity of what you are going through, now if we're talking about, oh, magically, now I can read it. Glad. So, as I was saying, it depends upon the intensity of the emotion that you're feeling. So, if you have this bout of anger that you're tapping on, and the intensity is so high, so now depending upon the intensity of what you're feeling, adjust the number of rounds you want to have. So we can go on tapping, say 5 rounds, 6 rounds, and till the time it makes you feel lighter, you can go on tapping on it.
And you feel, I find every time you do it, and when I've practiced it again, it kind of becomes less. Like if there was an issue that was there, as you did it again, it doesn't affect you as much. I don't know. It's like a reduction, or
It is like
release,
a reduction,
like a
totally.
layer, like an onion that's being peeled, slowly but surely. Wow,
So it's
such
like
an
the door
amazing
that was
experience.
closed. Yeah, so it's like the door that was closed. Now you've kept it ajar. So, every time you become so fluid with this method that the emotion comes and flows through it.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Coach Shakshi, for sharing that with us. I wanted to leave off by asking you, what is your top advice and tips in these stressful times that we are facing around the world? I know there's so much to say, but what would you say is the number one thing that comes to your heart right now that you want to share with our community?
Yes, so a few things like I pointed out last time, which is like a giving that you should please do. One is avoid everything in excess news, excess social media use, and excess food. Because these are the three things which people are doing in excess right now. Anxiety, what do you do? That's what you do. So practice moderation is one. Second thing which I have recently started doing myself also is pick a creative activity. So when you channelize your creative energy, it helps miraculously. It really reduces your stress to it really brings it down, and the more you channelize your creativity, the less stressful you're going to feel.
Okay.
So that is something I would suggest.
Thank you for sharing that. And how do we connect with you? I know you're on Instagram and we've tagged you here, but what is the best way to connect with you if someone wants to go further into this and do this professionally?
Totally. So you can go to my website. It is www.inneranchoring.com. You can connect me through that. Or otherwise, Instagram is also absolutely fine. You can DM me and I'm going to respond and we'll take it from there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much again for your time and your energy and helping us heal. And it's an honor to have you as part of our community. And I look forward to connecting again and healing more.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me, Shiva.
And thanks everyone who's watching us and is part of this live today. Your energy was felt and we hope to connect with you soon as well. Have a wonderful evening and day.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.